Hey everybody, let me give you one more video about why I think the quick access controls in Google Meet are extremely important. So I'm in my Google Classroom and I clicked on my Meet link within Google Classroom and I'm going to join it here as the teacher. On the other side, this will be where the student is. Okay, and I'm going to jump down to these host controls and I'm going to toggle off quick access, and it says everyone who isn't invited must ask to join. So that's the first layer of protection here that I like. So even though this student is in my Google Classroom, they weren't invited with a calendar event with this link, so they still have to ask to join. I can add people by bulk. If 15 kids ask to join all at the same time, I can add them all in, no big deal. But here's how this works. I can ask to join. Teacher gets this little pop-up. I can add them or deny entry. I'm actually going to deny entry here. All right, and you're going to see on this side it's going to say you can't join. So maybe I'm a kid and I'm like, but I need to join this call, right? If I deny them 2 times as the teacher, they're not even allowed to ask anymore. All right, but let's say this time ask to join, and let's let this student in. Okay, so that's the first layer of protection. Now that the student is in the meeting, they won't have to ask to join every time they join. They first join the meeting. So if you wanted your students to ask to join every single meeting you had, you'd want to go over to your Google Classroom. You'd want to go into your settings gear, and you'll want to come down to your Google Meet link and reset that link after each class. And then every time the class starts, they're going to have to ask to join because it's a new link. Okay, I guess that takes a few extra clicks, but it's not too bad. It's not too much work. All right, so let's go back to our Meet here. And here's another thing that I really like about this quick access that kids are a little bit sneaky on. So they like to open this new tab here. They like to stay in this waiting room. Okay, and when they stay in this waiting room, they're really getting past this initial block of teachers have to be first into the meeting, right? So they're technically like in the meeting, but they're not really there, right? They can see who's in the call. So let's say their other window leaves. They close that window, and let's say the teacher's done, and he's like, all right, well, have a good day. We'll see you guys later, and they leave, right? So now everybody's gone from this meeting, and now the student can just wait. They're already past the block where it says you're not allowed to be in this meeting, and they can click join now. And before, if you didn't have quick access controls on, they would just be in the meeting without an adult, right? Which isn't great. But now you see that if I have the quick access controls, even if they try to do that little sneaky trick, it says waiting for the host to join, and their video won't work. You can see my mic and my camera aren't turned off right now, but my mic is not going. You can see right here, my mic is not going. There's no video feed of who I am, right? And nothing will happen in that until a host or the teacher jumps back onto the meeting. That's pretty awesome, right? I mean, that really just, you see how it says no one else is here? Because this person is waiting, but they're not actually in the meeting, right? Okay, so that right there is worth its weight in gold. They'll always turn that off, right? So mute that mic. Let me turn that camera off. Okay, so let's say that the quick access controls aren't turned off, right? Let's see what happens here. So let's do the same exact thing. All right, let's say that students pretty sneaky. They're going to open this new tab. They're going to wait for everybody to leave. All right, so here I'm going to leave as the student. Now I'm going to leave as the teacher. And look here. Okay, so now it says this meeting has already ended. See, the meeting never even made it there, okay? But let's just say, hypothetically, all right, so let's reset this link so we can try this whole theory again. All right, so reset the link. All right, so now it's a different code here. Now, as the student, this link no longer even exists, right? So they have no luck getting into that one. And if you notice, if they don't refresh their page, they're still on the old link, and it's not going to work either, right? So we need to refresh the page as the student. Okay, and we're going to log in as the teacher. Give me 1 second here. We're going to log in as the student, and we're not going to turn off quick access, and you're going to see why this is important. All right, so I'm just going to, this time I'm leaving it on, right? They don't have to ask to join. You can see the difference, right? They don't have to ask to join. They can just join now because they have the link. I'm going to open up a new tab and just hide it and just wait, right? That's the trick that students are trying to use. When I leave the call here, and if I leave the call as the teacher, let's make sure this is in the waiting room. Okay, leave the call as the teacher. Now watch this. Okay, remember, they're past that block of like a teacher has to be in the room. So now, if they want, once they see this is empty, it might take a couple seconds, but once they see that the room is empty again, they're going to be, no one else is here, right? But they can join. And you notice, camera's working, the microphone would also be working, and see, the microphone is also working, and you're able to be in the meeting without a supervising adult, right? So instead, if the teacher just comes in one last time here for effect, right? One last time, if the teacher comes in and turns those quick access controls off, you're going to see this doesn't work as well anymore. So I'm going to put this one back in the waiting room. I'm going to come in as the teacher. Oh, I'm so sorry. There we go. Come in as the teacher. Okay, I'm going to say, hey, you shouldn't be in this room. Google Meet without me. You know, I'm going to turn off the quick access controls because I know they've been abusing this. And I'm going to say you need to leave. So now the student's like, all right, I'll leave, whatever. I'll just come back when you can't figure it out again, right? And now I leave as the teacher. All right, so we've all left. And we're going to wait for the teacher to clear from the account. But remember, quick access is now off, right? So they shouldn't be able to get in anymore. And you're going to see what happens once this clears and it says no one is in the call. What the student will be able to see. So we're going to turn the mic off just in case. But now it comes up with that error again. All right, so that's why it's so important. Quick access does two main things. It enables the waiting room, so people who aren't invited or shouldn't be in your meet can't get in right away. They have to be admitted, and then the second thing is they can't use the meet in any way after you have already ended the call. So that is why I think quick access controls are extremely important and should be utilized.